Hey, welcome everybody to Friday Night at the Crib. I posted a link on the right-hand side in case anybody would like to join us. Have any questions, like to talk about Bounty or any recent changes in the game, last night's Facebook live stream, or anything else you might find interesting. I guess I'll introduce everybody at this point from left to right. It's Toxic.
G'day everyone, how we doing?
Good morning. The Hulch.
Howdy, everyone.
Magic Mike.
Fangtooth.
Cal. Junior Daniel.
Hello, everyone.
And Damnation and Hellfire.
Yo.
Two Doors.
Science.
And this is Hefe. So should we start talking about Bounty first? Or I have slides related to some of the blueprint changes, both the upcoming one and the unexpected one. But would anybody like to start talking about their experience with Bounty at this point? From what we've seen so far, the jackpot targets for the day have already probably come and gone, and we'll see another one-time event tomorrow, if I'm correct, and then two each the following days, and they're supposed to happen at random times, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in Australia, just to be, friendly like they are. So Toxic, unless you stayed up all night, you probably didn't see any of those if you're participating in Bounty.
No, I don't. If you're talking about the 99s and 96s and whatnot, I've seen one, but I'm not an authorized Bounty player, so it'd be silly of me to go and hit them.
Yeah. Well, the 96s are spawning all the time. It's the 99s and the 88s or 89s? 88s?
One of the two.
Okay. And TSM is doing an update on Countermeasure Loader 4. He's doing a reload test now. Yeah, I guess we could, why don't we do, I only have a couple of slides. We could do those fairly quickly, and if give a chance for other people to jump in and discuss their Bounty experience. I haven't started Bounty. I have been watching some people do it, and it's really helpful to own the bus at this point, from what I've seen.
I opted in, and I'll be honest, I've done really nothing but sit in my base and sit on my ass, and I have 6,000 bounty already just from getting grants. So, I mean, getting to that, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 mark doesn't seem like it's going to be that difficult, because it doesn't seem like hardly anybody's out hitting bases from what I've seen in my area anyway.
Okay. Let's see, and I will click on this. One of the positive updates is they're going to start including projectile speed and the degree of unreactive on the blueprints. Like it says there, projectile speed is equivalent to combat speed. I know in the data mining there was an X and a Y, so I never quite understood what the Y is. I assume it's related to the arc, but I don't know if this projectile speed treats it as a straight line. So this will be helpful with, I think mostly helpful with the dumbfire weapons, to give you an idea of how effective it might be prior to actually seeing it, once you see the numbers relative to other weapons of that type. Because if you've gone through the data mining, you'll see, especially in the mortars, there is a huge variance, and in these speeds, and you can see it during gameplay. But it's more difficult to judge a prize before you claim it, without actually knowing that number or a relative number. So I think that's a very positive thing. and as opposed to unreactive just being a binary stat, now they're going to include numbers associated with it, and that basically tells you, my understanding is how long a stack will stay active. So the bigger the number, the more likely that you're going to reach some sort of what do they call it? Crit, not crit. What is the 4 letters? Proc, shockwave, or whatever is going to happen to you with these stacks. So again, I think there is a base stat for even if you're not unreactive, that these stacks from a launcher or whatever, their launchers are probably the most easy to see, where you start to build up a little bar that builds up until you shockwave. So basically they will fall away at that speed, and hopefully they will actually add in the number on the other side, which provides at what point how many stacks have accumulated in order to reach a shockwave in this example. So, any thoughts on these?
It's good.
That's a good thing.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other things we've done, slides on before, like considering what we're doing right now. I wish this Fangtooth also had its visible range, which I sort of figured out. Well, I saw it on Huggies, and I did a little experiment. It appears to be 60, which is basically the distance that the Fangtooth can be seen by something with no sonar or thermal. Thermal, I'm just throwing in there just because it only impacts sonar. But if something has no sonar, that's how close you can get to it before you're seen. And you take your your visible distance plus their detection limit, and then their sonar range, and that's how you use the calculation of the effectiveness of your cloak efficiency. But it's a good start. I mean, like I said, I think there's some other stuff they could add in here.
Mm-hmm.
So, alrighty. Well, we can go on to the unpleasant blueprint change. They have added in, for some reason, after it was released, they've added in, just in the flavor text, not in the actual stats, that this special will not increase the reload bonus to depth charges, UAVs, and torpedoes, which is quite misleading because of the concussive reload bonus. And as far as we're all aware of currently in the game, depth charges and torpedoes are the only weapon types that are associated with a concussive weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just wanted to say, Ran is testing this as of a little bit ago. It seems to be that they are still working with, I believe, torpedoes. I don't want to 100% confirm or deny it. But if I trust Ren, so
yeah. But I'm still not sure that you would, if they have gone to the effort of making this change, at least in the flavor text, is there potential that it may still be working in the game, but it might not be working in the future?
I like they intend to take it away.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this is just immensely stupid. You give a concussive reload stat, and then you specifically say that it excludes all concussive weapons in the game. So then why is the stat there? There is literally no reason for that stat to exist, unless there's some weapon that deals concussive damage that isn't depth charge or torpedo. I don't know of any.
Well, I think there's
people-
probably some that do like a percentage, but doesn't it have to be the primary damage type?
Yes, it has to be the primary damage type. Like, let's
Yeah.
say Chaos Mortar does concussive because it probably does.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mortar. It's an explosive weapon. So it counts the explosive reload. But it's not a concussive weapon. So that doesn't matter. If anybody in chat, if you guys know of a weapon that is a concussive type weapon, not just one that deals concussive damage, that is not a depth charge or a torpedo, please let me know. Because I don't think there is one. And if there isn't, I'm going to double down on calling them stupid. And even...
Well, it might already, I guess, doubling down because there's no, I mean, because I'm really confused now. If it does work with the Delirium torpedoes, why did they add this text in? Unless they're planning to remove it in the future. I mean, I could understand maybe putting concussive reload in there if they put this stuff in at the beginning, and don't put it in the flavor text because it's a little bit disingenuous when you had, what was the new missile damage special that came with the, that's coming in Bounty?
Alt something.
The razor foils?
Yeah. Does anybody have the game open? Could you read me the flavor text from that one?
I think they were trolling us, but I'll look it up.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. They're trolling us on this one. They're trolling us on that one. But in this one, yeah, the special.
Aerodynamic blades that increase the effectiveness of any paper cutting weapon you own.
Yes. So, in one way, they've made a joke out of the flavor text, and then in this instance, they've excluded these weapon types in the flavor text. So they treat it very seriously because this just doesn't show up in the stat blocks. So
Yeah, so I will make the claim that a high-speed railgun will destroy paper, and that a mortar will destroy paper, and so on and so forth. So why are those numbers?
Is it paper cutting? Is that what it was, Holsch?
Well, the missile isn't going to cut paper either.
This is of any paper cutting weapon.
Yeah.
Although I guess to be fair, the projectile speed and building damage apply to almost every weapon in the game. But there is that missile buff, that missile only buff.
Yeah. I mean, ballistics would also just as easily cut. I don't think throwers are going to cut paper.
Yeah.
Well, they'll burn it.
The clipper
mortars.
missiles snip your way through enemies' buildings.
Yes. But yeah, it's confusing at times when they do things like that. But I'll stop screen sharing at this point if anybody wants to go back to talking about Bounty.
Well, actually, I have a question for you guys. Do you think, with knowing that we're going to get the Escalation Weapon coming up pretty soon for the current hulls, do you think possibly they might release a concussive weapon at that point that's not either torpedoes or depth charges?
Always possible. I mean, because that's why I kept on stating that there's none in the game at this point. But when's the last time? I guess the thrower was the last new weapon type that they added. But they added that a while ago. I'm trying to think of a weapon type. Or was it the depth charge? It was probably I don't know. It was either the thrower, but it's been a couple of years since they've added a new weapon type.
I feel like with their track record of introducing new things, they shouldn't do that because it's going to screw things up and everyone's going to get confused. I mean,
well, we also know with their track record, though, that what they should do, they don't pay a whole lot of attention to that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what else would you even classify it as? Because usually the classifications are by the primary damage type.
What if you classify? You created a new weapon type? And Synergy brings up a good point. I think he's probably right. The scattergun was probably the last one that was introduced. But who knows?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably.
But I am confused now with the leap in, if anybody's been looking at their Fang Tooth that has the advanced torpedo tubes on it, we saw about 100% jump in your bonus damage. And I don't know how that happened. Because I think it was 225 when I originally equipped it. Now I think, I don't have the game open, but I think it's somewhere around 320 now. And
I mean, I can try to mock something up. I don't have that on there yet because it's 2 days for each one, and I'd rather build everything else first. But we'll see. That's not even multiplicative, is it? Or is it?
I haven't. I've noticed it. I haven't run the numbers on it because there was also the other problem with the Delirium torpedo just doubling its damage for a while. I don't know if that went away. I got a headache dealing with what's been going on with this because it appears to be all graphical and not really be an impact on the game. So I just waiting for them to sort it out.
I mean, I'll go back to my point that we need to be able to trust what we're being told in the game to make informed decisions, which is the point of a strategy game. Yeah, 325 torpedo damage. And let's see what happens if I take this thing off. Back to 150. That's
and what does
odd.
it say on there? It says 75, right?
It's usually it's 70. Let me find it
70.
again. 70 torpedo damage. And it went from
so
150 to
times-
325.
Good lord.
Let's put ACP on there for comparison and see what that says. Okay. Okay, so 131, 250. Then. Okay, so new stuff's a little better as it should be, but 150 and 50 is 225, so 325. That doesn't account for all the damage, though. That's.
Did they make a new math for us?
No, I don't think so. The difference is about. Make a new what?
Well, you said it goes from 150 to 320.
Yeah, it went from
So-
150 to 325. So let's work this out. I'll go on mute and work this out.
Okay. Alrighty. Does anybody have anything else while Brian's trying to work through the confusion here? I'd noticed it, but I hadn't bothered to try and figure it out earlier. How are you doing in Bounty? Are you using a? Do you have a bus?
No, but I've just been using my gluts.
Okay, and you're able to do them for instant repair in the base?
Yeah, I've hit a decent amount of bases too.
Okay. Yeah, I've been in. Daniel, have you started Bounty or are you still not doing Bounty?
No, I'm not gonna do bounty.
Okay. Yeah, because if you have the bus built, it just destroys these targets.
Mhm.
You can snipe them from the outside and take out probably a quarter to a third of the base from each target on the outside. And most people I see are doing it. They're doing it for instant repair on the map. So it seems a little unbalanced.
Okay, so if you take 50 and 70, or 150 and 70, that's 220. That's what it was, I guess, supposed to be. But if you take 70% of that 150%, so the additional 70% damage and apply that to the 150, you get 105%. 105 plus 220 is 325. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Like, the stunned silence of, it sounds dumb. Yes, it does, and it probably is. It's as stupid as it sounds, and it feels like the thing that they did, where apparently they were calculating strange things based in a multiplicative fashion, feels like they moved the display to that rather than changing the formula.
Okay.
That would mean that the formula would have been right, but the display would have been wrong. Therefore, for a while, the damage of the ACP probably would have been higher even though it was showing wrong. Look, I don't know, but that's how you get to 325.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find another special to...
Yeah, see if they're all calculating this way. Because I didn't notice, I noticed that one, and I haven't, I guess the other one potentially, but this is just...
Okay, what else gives just torpedo damage? There's advanced torpedo tubes. I don't know what else.
What about
just
still
torpedo
fire
damage.
charge? No, that just does critical and projectile speed and splash.
Splash. Yeah, nah, that's crit multipliers.
I mean, I guess the other place to look would be the polonium accelerator, the one that adds thrower to radioactive. That would be the other, something that would be, should act in a similar.
Radioactive, huh? Do I have that on my head? My Harlock's Alpha didn't change, and I've got the polonium thrower on it.
Okay. Oh, well.
So, can't really say. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe next time I'll take a look at this. I guess I should have looked at it more prior to the show when I noticed that change. But like I said, I was getting frustrated with all the changes going on with it and not knowing whether they were just graphical errors or graphical corrections or things that were actually occurring during the game. Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about? If everybody's doesn't either isn't doing bounty or doesn't care to discuss it that much.
Well, I mean, I'm not doing it because the prizes don't, like, I don't care about the prizes. The thing that I would have been most interested in would have been the Outer Strike turret. The problem is, I don't know how quick that builds to full charge, like how much each charge really would do, and it's splash, and these ships are fast, and they're probably going to miss a lot of the time. I do like that they changed bounty grants so that you didn't have to be there, or felt like you didn't have to be there every minute of the day. You can just go off and you get the bounty.
And the other thing that would have been good to know, we don't really know. As far as I know, we don't know the build time on that turret, do we?
Currently, no.
I don't believe so.
We can't really know until after you claim it, right?
I really wish they would let us mess with builds of stuff that we don't have.
Yeah, you can get the stats, but you can't get the build time. So, the other thing is, does it relate to these other? There's going to be 2 more bounties, probably before I'm done building the limited stuff that was given to us. Not given to us, but the countermeasures, the epic and the cannibal gargle, or cannibal Wendigo and all that kind of stuff. Do we replace this one with that, or I don't know, because with the 25-day build times on those, it's going to be quite a while till I'm going to be wanting to build something new. That historically, these scattergun turrets haven't been huge winners for the reasons that you mentioned earlier, Brian.
And unless you can get full charge with one shot, it takes so long to reload a lot of the time that they're out of your range again, or the turret itself is just dead.
And as I recall, it has a 105 range, right?
Yeah.
And you can add 10
ATR.
Yeah, you can ATR it to 10, to add 10, so it'd be to 115. So I guess you would still outrange the bus, but you would have to put it in such a particular spot, so it didn't get splashed out from the other side of the base. So okay. Hey, Rom.
Yeah,
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Hey.
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Are you willing to talk about bounty?
Not in the mood to talk about things that suck right now.
Okay, all righty.
Straight fire.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get really anybody to discuss bounty. I thought that's what people were going to want to talk about.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk about some bounty. What's there really to talk about? Have you been hit yet?
I'm not. I haven't been doing it. That's why I'm hoping. That's why I can't really talk about. And the only thing I've talked about so far is what I've seen people do with the bus.
Yeah.
In the PVE targets, and just destroy them for repair on the map.
Brian, have you been hit yet?
I'm not playing it. I don't care.
Damnation, have you been hit yet?
I've been hit twice, but most people are just out hitting the PvE targets.
Daniel, have you been hit yet?
I'm not doing bounty neither.
Mike, have you been hit yet?
No, I didn't opt in.
Holsch, have you been hit yet?
4 or 5 times.
Toxic.
But he would have been hit anyways.
Yeah, whole
I've not
all the
opted.
time.
What'd you say, Toxic? They were talking over you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've not opted in yet either.
Okay. I opted in. I went out and hit 15 bases, probably failed in 80% of them with the bus, with prides, and with rages. And nobody's returned to hit yet. We've got 72 people playing in our sector. I was in 5th place the last time I looked with 8,000 points, which is going to get me one nifty little special, and that's it. I'm probably, let me see where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I'm almost at 13,000 and I am 600th place.
I've got 9,000 bounty right now. The leader in the world has 120,000 points. They put out these stupid targets that give out massive quantities of bounty when 90% of the people that play Battle Pirate can't play. Now, that's going to change on the weekend. There may be going to be 2 released tomorrow, and there might be 4 released on Sunday. But why in the world would you limit the currency for bounty to one time each day when nobody can get it other than a few people or people that live in England or, you know, other parts of the world? I realize they have a right to it as well. But why don't you do it once every 12 hours? That way both sides of the globe can have a chance to use it.
Well, we learned from Bounty 1 they're terrible with economics in general. So maybe they just suck.
We know they suck. Everything they've done suck. Here's a great new hull that's going to allow you to rule PvP if you can get it. Oh, by the way, you're not going to be able to get it because there's not enough currency floating around except for a few lucky people.
Well, why would you even put PvE targets in what's supposed to be a PvP event anyway?
Because some people can't hit PvP and they want this to be inclusive. So much so that the activate button is still on your launch fleet screen, and I know of people that have accidentally opted in and there's no confirmation for it. You just are in.
Yeah.
If that's the case, stop calling it a PvP event because obviously it's not.
Well, I mean, the other thing,
it also gives them this
It's
whole
a second raid where
the
they
whole
can.
thing. Well, it also gives them control over, over the economy by providing the number of these targets. Both the jackpot and the normal targets, how many targets they introduce, how easy they are. It allows them to gain control so they can basically give the number of prizes they want to out.
Didn't they say that they want to bring back the PvP to the game to make it fun because we're just too stupid to build the PvE fleets? And it's, they had a bit of a laugh how we build our Conqueror fleets and whatnot, and no one's playing it, so they have to bring targets out that people hit PvE targets.
I think we'll get to it later, but I have words for them on their PvP builds that they're trying to sell us for $50 and $60 a pop.
Well,
but
if they want to bring back PvP, they're going to have to bring down the cost and let it be fun again.
Exactly.
It's not fun going out and spending, whatever you want to call it, 16 coins, 25 coins, 27 coins in the case of gluttonies. They control both sides of the issue. They determine how easy a base is to hit or how successful a base hitting fleet is. And we're paying them for both parts of it.
Like in my sector, for example, right? There's 53 people opted in to bounty right now. Now 53's got 0. And I'm going down. And then it goes down to 36, it's still got 0. And 35th place has got 560. Whatever that is, points or medals or whatnot. So from 35 to 53, they're all got 0. So they must have just by accident clicked the opt-in button when they wanted to launch a fleet.
And they got hit and lost the 800 points they had.
No, you can't lose all 800 those.
Yeah, you lose 240.
Then how do you get down to 0?
They all got 0. There's 20 odd people that got 0.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm sitting here looking at it. We've got.
Technically, you shouldn't be able to.
I've got it right here. 3 people at 0. We've got 76 that are now playing, and 3 people have 0. Have they just not click? Have they just not joined in to collect their grant?
Zeno's theorem, they can't actually go to 0. Well, it's not actually Zeno's, but well, no, because don't you get your grant upon? Well, I guess you might have to relog in, but
well, they said you had to log in, go to the map, and then go back into your base.
You might have to, but I mean, yeah, you should never be able to get to 0. Maybe it's showing unsecured only.
No, mine's showing total bounty, 92.98. That's exactly what it says. They've got 0.
That shouldn't be. That's something's wrong because you're right. It shouldn't be possible.
I think someone had 0 last bounty in my sector too. I don't know how, but
You know, bases are tough enough now. You got to club baby seals to get anything, and that's better than going out and hitting their bob targets for 100 points or 50 points. You know, at least clubbing a baby seal will give you 200.
Well, even those bobs, did you guys see the video where they just went ham with rages and got them all shrouded and said that this was okay? The Facebook Live video that they did?
I didn't see. Oh, they were talking last night?
Yeah, last night they did a thing at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw.
Kind of like how they did for the first one.
You know what? That's it's fun to see them trying to communicate like that, but that's just purely propaganda. They should have had a sit down and answered questions instead of going, "Hey, look, you can do this and you can do that, and look at this prize."
Oh, it's comedy gold. There is no question about it being comedy gold. I was doing some combination of replying to their points with actual facts and also trolling them. But like
they don't want facts. They want kickside facts.
Well, then they can go fuck off. Like the stuff that they said is like, "Oh yeah, bounty, it worked well, but there were a ton of display issues." Display issues, which by the way, still seem prevalent in this edition of Bounty, to the point where there's been a call for people to send screenshots of they said if I hit this guy, I'd get this much bounty, but I actually got no bounty. Like that's still a thing where you get no bounty on hits. And that shouldn't, I understand the difficulty in doing that with a real-time game where at any moment in time, a player could jump over an unsecured level, but there needs to be some sort of protection against this. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that they technically, unless they enter their base, well, no, I'm just talking about the bounty they award every 4 hours, but because you don't get that bounty unless you enter your base, which if someone starts to hit you before you enter your base, then you don't get that. So that couldn't set you over, but you could still get it from hitting other people.
I mean, do people think the relatively low participation numbers in it deal with the fact that, you know, there's people on here that do PvP but aren't participating? Is that due to it's basically a bastardization of PvP or base hitting because of the it's a very different strategy because of the bubble lengths.
It's a bastardization of everything. Nothing of it works.
Well, I'm sure one of the big things that's not helping it right at the moment is all the buildings that everybody's upgrading and everything. They don't want to lose all that time. I'm sure that's not helping participation at all.
Yeah, that's, I think, the main reason why this bounty is failing. They didn't take into account what their players are doing right now in the game. Like, even those of us, and myself included, I've spent, 20, 30-something days of stored up build tokens on these things. And it's still, like, I still have stuff to upgrade. And I haven't even built the Conquest Yard. I'm still, like, about 2.5 weeks from done upgrading all of the buildings. Not even turrets, just, like, Advanced Lab, Dock, Shipyard. But I mean to upgrade. Like, that takes 2 months normally. And I guess they're expecting that to be done. And I know they said they'd alleviate that with reinforced chest and tokens, but we don't really know we don't know the denominations of those or the probability with which they drop. Like, we're not guaranteed tokens. Well, considering the negative perception of Kixeye and probability, no one's going to do it. We're going to save our 4 days of build time, because I don't think you're going to make back your 4 days plus repair times, by the way. Mm-hmm. Just getting those, I don't think you can. Unless there's 7-day build tokens in there and there's a 50-50 shot. No. They just don't understand what the ecosystem is like in their game, in the live game at this point in time, which is just stupid. And they had to delay this too. Like, even if they did it earlier, even if they do it 2 weeks later, I think they're going to run into the same problems. People just aren't done building their base stuff yet.
Easy fix. It's super easy to fix. Look, guys, we've given you all this OP10 upgrades. This bounty, it's 1 coin repair for the base. You get hit, 1 coin repair, or 2 coin even repair, and everything is fixed. All the buildings that are upgrading will instantly be fixed, so you don't lose any time. But they don't see it that way,
I mean,
you're still going to lose time, though, unless you happen to be on exactly when you get hit and can spend your 1 coin and repair then.
I mean,
true that.
Yeah, this sort of tried with its half of your most expensive building, which is, I guess, still your launch pad?
No, it's the portal.
Oh, right. Sorry. They need to bring down the repair time on the launch pad is a nice little side topic, but they don't like reducing repair times. They give you bullshit specialists that take 20 days and tons of resources. And
wait. Did they bring it down? Because it used to be 36. What is the repair time on the... I know they brought it down. They did bring it down because the launchpad used to be 36 as a repair time, because it was put in place early in the game because people were just going in and rocketing docks, and they could just continue to rocket docks. This is earlier in the game. They could continue to rocket docks of a player they didn't like all day long with the bunker busters. And so they tried to create something for the player base to go after. You could go and turn around if the player was doing that and rocket their launch pad. So that's the reason it was put in originally, but it's not 36 anymore. It's quite a bit shorter, as I recall.
I want to say 20.
Why won't they let us delete that stupid launch pad?
You can't
delete it. No.
You could. I think you could.
Because I know some people that deleted it and then upgraded it to not the highest level.
You cannot. Yeah, currently you cannot delete the launch pad.
No, that's what I...
Okay, now my question there is, can you not delete it because you have rockets built?
No, you just cannot delete it, period.
Yeah, when you press the more option, there's nothing to scrap or anything like that.
Okay.
But I think Rum's question is it because sometimes if you have like stuff inside of it, it prevents you from doing it. If you scrap all your rockets, do you get the option to do that? I think
that was my question.
You do not, because I hardly ever have rockets in mine, and I never get the scrap option.
Yeah, there's no scrap button. Like if it was because of a reason, then the scrap button will be grayed out, or it'll be like
Okay.
more faint than what the others are. But there's not even a scrap button there.
You want to go back to the 0 number on the leaderboard? I think I see what happened. If you look at the leaderboard and go to one of those bases, it doesn't look like they're opted in, but the system probably thinks they are, therefore you're 0. These 2 that I looked at do not have the symbol next to them.
Wow. So
You can
even
verify it, but that's what I see on 2.
that, if true, then they're trying to inflate their numbers not only by unethical user interface, but by just chucking people in at 0.
What it looks like.
Well,
Maybe.
I'm sure everything looks fine on the back end side. It's what we see that's messed up.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was GD's response to a question today. Oh, bounty looks good under the hood. Bounty numbers are up.
Yeah, because
Well-
you cheat people into joining. Also, go ahead.
You go, Brian. Sorry.
I mean, well, I have a long diatribe about, I think technically legal accounting practices that I feel like they're trying to do here, but I'll save that. You go, Toxic.
No, I was just going to say, last bounty, I remember me joining and not having the little emblem on the side for quite a while. And maybe when Mike just said that, maybe that's what's happening here. It takes like 4 hours for the next thingy, whatever, for the next reset or whatnot to come up before you get that little diamond on the side. Maybe that's why they're all at 0 and they won't flip over to the actual points until that happened. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
How many points do you get when you
In
join?
15 minutes, we'll find out.
8.
See, I'm pretty sure when I joined, I got my first 800 like right as soon as I joined. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so this would imply that all the zeros have already lost, and you lose them as a percentage. It just seems odd that these people are already down to 0. You know what I mean?
Mathematically, losing 30% every hit, there's no way you could ever get to 0. It's mathematically impossible.
Yeah, so the 0 is just a, I see people counting them as the participation level is 0, but they need to have a positive number in order to, really count. I mean, the weirder thing that happened to me is I didn't even join Bounty by this point on last rate, and I had about 4,000 or 5,000 Bounty, and I was continuing to accumulate it, even though I hadn't joined. But they eventually took that away. But I was quite amused. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just going to sit here, not play, and just rack up the bounty. But because I didn't have one of those indicators either. But at some point, I think Saturday night, they figured out the error. Yes, Rum?
Sorry.
Okay, I wasn't sure what was going on there. I thought you were cheering me on. What was going on there? Yeah, take away his bounty. But yeah, there's been some interesting little quirks that have happened here, and I can imagine the most frustrating for people is not getting bounty, because I've seen people talking about hitting 3 or 4 bases in a row and not receiving bounty, and I can't imagine every single one of those people just happen to magically trip over the secured bounty line.
I mean, I'll say this though, like I said before, like I opted in, I maybe hit like 4 or 5 of the 85 base targets, but literally just sitting on my ass doing nothing. I've already generated 6,090 bounties, so probably by the end of this event, I'll probably have around 15K. I'll be able to get like the turret special and a missile, and have had to do absolutely nothing for it.
Anybody want to know Damnation scores? Just kidding.
No,
I
no,
know
no, no need
host
for
does.
that. No, there's no need for that, FA. Someone else could be pretty close to him.
Okay, alrighty. I'll keep that in mind.
Dun, dun,
Well, you
dun.
haven't opted in. So,
No, well, the reason I haven't opted in is because I'm building my dock.
Okay.
My shipyard, sorry, my concrete yard. And I don't want to lose the 4 days because it's going to be Monday, Tuesday at the time it's finished here, and I'll be at work. So I'm potentially losing I could be losing a day and a half for not being able to press the button straight away. So I'm not willing to do that. Plus, there's nothing really in there that I need or want. I haven't had any of my turrets aren't upgraded yet. My advanced lab isn't upgraded yet. My shipyard's not upgraded yet. I've got no turrets on. It's all old stuff, and yeah.
And you might be more tempted. And you might be more tempted to, and I think a lot of players might be more tempted to participate in Bounty if they didn't have to wait 42 days to build a shipyard. And have we got clarification? Oh, that brings it up. Have we got clarification on the Huggies shipyard? We were originally told it would handle both defenders and conquerors, but the blueprint only says conquerors. I haven't been looking around the forums today or asked anybody. Have we had any sort of clarification at this point that it only does conquerors?
It's defenders and conquerors.
Okay, so the flavor text again has led us astray.
Correct.
Okay, so you know somebody that's built it and can fit conquerors in there?
I talked to the devs about it and asked them.
Okay.
FA.
Yeah. Yes.
I contacted one of the players that's at 0 on the leaderboard, and he has not opted in.
Okay. Very good.
Wow, there's like 19 or 18 of them here that haven't opted in. They're there.
So the conspiracy theory, Brian, I think is holding some water on their side.
Yeah, I want to see if I'm opted in because I've accidentally pushed the button, but then stopped at the pop-up screen. So I'm not sure if that somehow has you pop up on the leaderboard.
Mine shows 0 personally, but I don't have a number next to it, so I'm not on the list. It's just
you would be up at the top.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you showed up further down,
exactly.
Then yeah.
But it does show 0 bounty.
Okay. And Brian, you just posted that Ren seems to be confirming that countermeasure loaded 4 actually does provide the 25% reload that they say it doesn't.
Yeah, as of now, about when we started the show, I don't know how well this is going to hold up.
I was trying to figure out that note because I read it, and honestly, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know if it was confirming or denying.
It confirms what they originally told us, but then it's the opposite of what they told us recently. Let me check. Ooh. Wow.
Got a lot of bounty, huh?
Well, at this point, we're showing over 100, a full leaderboard per sector.
Dang.
Number 101 has 560. So I can't even, I can't even confirm what you were talking about because.
Well, do you have? If you look at your top line.
Yeah, it shows me at 0, but I was trying to figure out if, people are showing these leaderboards that show 0.
Got it.
And we've already figured out those people can't be participating because of how it's taken away from them. But I was surprised to see that we have a full, 101 people that starting at 560 bounty points in the sector that I'm in.
Yeah, my brain was going, if you have a number next to yours, but you would be able to see your own. So,
yeah.
You guys know about the new deals? The structure build tokens?
Marvelous deal.
Wait, what?
The new structure build tokens, 30 days.
Let me
for
log
80
in.
bucks.
30 days for $80.
13 days for 40, and 6 days for 20.
And some fantastic fleets.
Well, they're
yeah.
tier 5s. They're tier 5s.
Oh,
I do have slides on those.
They were there before, but the structure build tokens are just new for me.
I want to go all the esports and outer Monte Cristo on these liberator and oppressor things.
So there we know. Now we know why they didn't worry about the structures, about the docks and stuff, because they wanted to sell us tokens. So
I'm not getting these token offers. Are you and Donnie?
No, I'm not. No.
Huh. I have them. I've had them for a couple of hours now.
Yeah.
I don't see.
And I'm the only one that I've heard of that's getting this outfitted V Pride and 4 Prides.
Yeah, and the oppressors.
I'm not getting the oppressors. I'm getting liberators and prides.
I see liberators and oppressors.
Oh, see, I'm just getting
You're getting a full V Pride fleet.
Yeah. It's not cheap.
For how much?
140.
Have a look. Here we go.
129.
Oh. Wait, what?
See it?
No.
Wait, how many liberators?
Can you hover over? Can we see the bills on that? Is that possible?
I have a slide. I have a slide. Let me pop up the slide. One second. I already made a slide of.
Hang on, let me get rid of this.
Runes and raises.
You can. I've already. I created a slide, Toxic. So 1 second.
Okay.
They're all at 420 value, aren't they?
Yeah. That's Australian dollars, though, I think. Was it says A420?
He's trying to make a terrible joke. Just plow through. Move on.
Mine's only offering you two ships of each.
There they are. They're the oppressors.
The oppressors and libs I can see. I just wanted to see the prides.
I don't get prides.
It's okay, I guess, but it could be better. When they talk about how bad our builds are. There was some splash reduction. Oh, hooray! Look at these again.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a horrible build.
Yeah, it's got a mix. SS5's. It's got siege battery, which is dependent on, do I think I'm going to get stunned? Yes, no. If so, siege battery. RG3, narrowed firing, and the ST3. Okay. I'm concerned
It'd be much
about.
more tempting if they had the new battery and targeting.
I know, that's a little strange that they're not trying to. Well, I guess we just got those, but if you buy these things without having them, you get all the blueprints for them, which I'd have thought they would have done because, look here, you could have SS6 and SB4 and ST4. You might have to take a weapon off, but who cares? Then you give people the blueprints at least, so that if you couldn't do the thing in tech up that you really wanted to, you could get them. You could get the blueprints here. I don't know about warplating. That still leaves you super vulnerable to missiles. Well, there's a V Pride in it, so I guess not as much as you'd think.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do the V Pride build because it would have, with all the other stuff, it would have taken 2 slides, and I didn't think that was worth it. But at this point, a $129 investment for a tech this old.
I mean, one of the key problems is that they mentioned about the Omega gun, how once you have that on, it basically reads your tier 6 conquerors are taken care of, unless they have sloths. Mm-hmm. And I just got mine on without coins. I sped up the OP, I sped up the weapons lab and I used some 12 hours from the FM to get through the research and then put the gun on with base parts, but it's on there. So,
well, except for it doesn't do any damage against the new ship, right? Yeah,
it shouldn't in theory.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you're building a turret, if you're building one of the new turrets in slow time, does that affect the Omega?
No, that's an equipping process. Yes.
Yeah, it's an equipping. Is it equipping process or is it?
It's equipping because you use base parts.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're putting a thing onto a defensive structure. So like, I had my warehouse building, but I could still put it on.
Yeah. So it's like if I'm building one of the new mortars on one of my turrets, it's I have to wait till that's finished to do the Omega cannon.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the equipping queue. I like how they gave us all this stuff that seems so nice, and now they're, planning on us using every extent that we have and still increasing the build times of things. Even with the equipping queue, even with all the base parts we could possibly hold, well, all of a sudden now, the turrets are 20-some days. They're limited in new tech, but at the same time, once we get to the twin blade, we'll see. But the new mortar is nothing against it. It doesn't do anything really. The Wendigo isn't really made for damage, but it will also do no damage. The Elite CM turret would do something against it at least.
Hopefully.
The Elite what? Oh, the countermeasures?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right now the best defense we have against it is hyenas and emancipator.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta hit it. At least it doesn't have a built-in evade bonus.
I think it does. Doesn't it?
Does it? 20%? Let me look. I mean, you can get, even without evade inherent, you can get it at pretty high.
Yeah, it's not, because I recall it's not one of those that has negative 180 like we've been treated to previously.
I don't think it has any evade.
Yeah.
It has 15. No, wait. Yeah, it has
clear it.
Yeah,
Okay.
clear.
Yeah, well that feels a little better at least. You can get the evade up a little over half, probably.
No, I remember I was playing with the build. I got it over like I got it to 70 something evade.
Were you putting?
I mean, if you want to try really hard, you can do it higher. Yes.
Were you putting E plates on it?
Yeah, putting E plates on.
Yeah.
There's probably an evade upgrade in there.
Oh, dang it. Like all evade upgrades.
No, with 3 E plates is 72. With agility system 4 and the speed system 6, 72% evade.
Oh, that's right. It is more evade. I forgot SS.
18 as opposed to 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Works. So, just real quick.
Run it with a serpent crew.
Oh.
Are we? Is there a topic of conversation that we're supposed to be on?
Oh no, never mind.
No, I don't. Like,
I mean, we can talk about that as long as we're all, because I'm assuming that a lot of people wanted to talk about bounty, but this doesn't really seem like the the best group to talk about bounty. So we can pretty much talk about, I don't know if they want to listen to a bunch of people talk about why we're not doing bounty, unless this is like a support group that's come in that are also not doing bounty.
I'm doing bounty, but I can't afford to do it much past today. Bounty is a great idea. Bounty, the way Kixeye's implemented it, it just totally sucks. And they don't want to listen to anybody else because they're Kix and they know what we want.
Well, I don't think... Yeah, we want like 2... Okay, so Liberator build. Let me go find that in the game right now because I have concerns.
Because I should have named the show Bounty Anonymous.
And
Up to what time can you opt in anyway?
I don't think they gave a limit on that. I think it's any time until the end. Personally, I'm probably going to wait until Monday where they realize they screwed everything up, or people aren't going to be getting the prizes that they want. And
now, remember what happened last time. You better log in now if you think that's a possibility.
Or wait till the last minute, or file a ticket a couple minutes later.
I actually really don't care.
Yeah. I filed a ticket and they sent me the whole bonus.
I mean, well, they haven't said, but no. I mean, if they're going to do that, then fine, whatever. Then I don't get anything. I was perfectly fine with not opting in. Okay, so Liberator build, they're selling 2 of these for $60, right? It's got scorias. And one of the problems with scorias is they're currently the 3rd best missile in the game if you don't also count the Clipper missile. And you shouldn't. So it's the 3rd best missile because the Talon and Menace both do significantly more damage to ships. And the minor increase in damage that you would get with a Scoria for the crit chance is kind of made up for.
Well, so also Manus also has the crit chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Manus has the crit. The Manus is just always better. Like there's a slight edge that the Scoria gains over the Talon because it has a crit chance, but I don't think the Talon does. So that's a downside there. So you have to refit to the missiles that you probably won in the raid, which will take time. It's got 3 warplating 3s, which I know a lot of stuff in bases is splash, but there's a significant part that isn't, like Emancipators or Hyenas. And even then, we can get our damage
launchers on the.
The Phlogiston, yeah.
No, I'm not even thinking Phlogiston. I'm thinking because we always want to talk about the Phlogiston, but I was more thinking the new launchers that came with the last bounty. They came with the Courage. What's the name of them?
Oh,
Insurrection.
The Insurrection, the ship launcher. Right. I'm sorry. I was thinking.
Yeah.
In addition, you can get the damage on the throw is so high that the splash damage reduction doesn't matter. You're going to get shock rate and probably killed. It's unreactive, but
on the throwers or the launchers. Okay. And the other thing I was thinking is, and I don't know when I brought it up last, but are they doing the math correctly on the splash reduction?
I feel like they aren't. I don't think you should be able to get 100% splash damage reduction or 200% splash damage reduction.
It should be multiplicative, right? And with
considering everything
with diminishing returns, it should be like resistances.
Yeah, and doesn't the ore on the Hunter?
Why don't we just put all the spaghetti in there?
Have the
Hey, Rob, no more dirty talk.
Anyway,
we don't know what he said, but we assume it was dirty.
Something about spaghetti. Anyways,
okay.
I thought the explosive and concussive defenses, I thought those had plus percentages as well. So that should be multiplicative, which would make a lot more sense. So anyway, splash damage reduction, not really needed. Sort of see why it's there, but meh. SS5, sure. IG3, sure. Interception system. Now, strike warheads builds pretty quick. Carbon fiber casing is strictly better. I guess unless you want to go really fast, but you could just put a combat speed upgrade in. It's pretty subpar. Isn't like a tier 3 FM prize, the interception system? Tier 3, tier 4? Some kind of low? SP3, yeah. The Reaver targeting system, that's fine. Evade upgrade, I guess you really want to dodge Emancipators and Hyenas, which makes some sense. You're drastically lowering the damage that you do to the building, so you're taking more fire from them, but you'll hope that's okay. It's probably not. On the next screen, I see oppressors for $50. Oh, yeah. So this has all torpid mortars. I forget exactly how well they do compared to other things. I think on my sloths, I have a mix of D85Ds and torpeds to kind of hopefully overwhelm some countermeasures. But if you can fit the weight on, I guess it's fine. SS5, sure. ST3, sure. Looks like CS2. I feel like that should be the one that came with the sloth instead. The slowest project, the innovated explosives. But that might go overweight. Or even like the Delta V mortar focus. That's a different version of that. SP3 is fine. Hydrodynamic shells 3. There's a hydrodynamic shells 3 on these oppressors. What the fuck? Why is this there? I don't actually know. You'd like to think that it would be going against gluttonies, but at the same time, that's a rare chance they'll hit underwater in the first place. If they're in range, your tank's taking fire and is probably pretty melted. They might still splash and hit these things anyway, but these have good concussive deflection, so that's going to be okay. The gluts themselves have explosive deflection of like 500, but you can put plates on there now. So kind of just negating that whole special with 1 or 2 armor plates. Out of the 10 the gluttony has, by the way. When they rise, better because it's damage if they're above water. The submerged damage is equal to the damage above water. Agi 3, sure. Pretty reasonable. Decent in the back line, but you've already got your 2 damage specials. I'd have liked to seen another splash upgrade in one of these spots, like the viscosity regulator or innovated or anything else that you use on your gluttonies or or inquisitors to get stupid amounts of splash, but I guess they didn't put that here. I don't know why. So these builds, I mean, both of these builds are pretty suboptimal, and I can sort of understand some degree of suboptimality. But these are $50 and $60. I could buy Overwatch and get food.
Yep. For
either of these. You know,
and the other thing is
edition.
You're building on old. You're spending a good amount of money to build on old technology that has a limited shelf life. I mean, this is better than what did they release? The Harlock Revenge.
Harlock Revenge and Vendettas. That's still around, by the way. You can still buy that fleet in this bounty if you want for $10.
Okay.
So it's not so much that I have a problem with the ships themselves, although, again, if they're going to call our builds bad, I'm going to tell them to 1v1 me, scrubs. But it's the price point. Really what upsets me about these is the price point. It's $60 and $50. And the thing is, we already have tier 6.5 tech. Last month we got the turrets. Now we have OP-10 and the Omega Gatling gun. And bases that get these and bases that use these, and it's not even that, like, a Rage is going to stand up fantastically against these.
And the Pride is $129.
That's for a full fleet. That's a little different.
But it's still, you're buying, you know, I don't know, on the Wednesday show when I pick, it's sort of like you're putting like when they had the minigun on the Wednesday, I don't know if you watched the Wednesday show, but I was talking about Rum's one weapon bus. And I was able, during the show, to find a picture of a VW, a 1960s VW bus with a minigun on top of it.
I'm still looking for a graffiti artist to put Rum Runner on the side of that bus.
Okay.
That was a cool picture. But and we're talking about this.
But what I'm saying is they put you can put all the new tech on it, but it's still, these are all older hulls relatively. This is not the next generation of hulls that you're spending $129 for or $69 or whatever you're paying for.
Yeah, and
so it has a limited shelf life. But you have the $5 Apollos for a full fleet.
Is that like a $5 holla?
Sort of.
The Pride was the first Tier 6 fleet too, and we've got Tier 6.5 now. You don't see a lot of hits with Liberators and the rival hulls anymore. People just go full Inquisitors and go ham. These builds are already on their way out, if they're not already completely out. And I understand that I'm talking about top end and not everybody's there yet. But in Bounty 1, everybody got Axiom chain guns. Even Liberators can't stand up to that if you build it well enough. And Oppressor sure as heck won't. They're done. Even without taking into account free tech that everybody got in last bounty, these hulls, their shelf life's already over. Isn't it? Pretty much.
Unless you have sloths, that's about it. Which,
yeah.
If you're buying
then
those,
you have to somehow have sloths, though.
Yeah.
It's just.
Should I throw up? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the price points of these and some of the repair specialists too, that also upsets me because the new stuff charge us a lot of resources and a lot of time. That is fine. Do that. It's the newest tech. To upgrade it further should cost a lot. My problem is with the older tech. It has the same cost, except maybe a slight time reduction as the new tech. This stuff's a year old. It's basically obsolete. You're not going to hit even ace sets with your tides, probably, unless you have the new weapon. At which point, you might want to consider building hunters. It's not good. You're not going to... It's really hard to get a stepping stone with the older tech. And Tide Seekers, the Harlocks especially, would need these repair specialists. And it's nice that they're giving it to us. But they're giving it to people... Yeah, they're giving it to people at a rate that doesn't match. You're pricing these as though they were new, and they're not. They're a year old. So why are you charging people that are just trying to get a leg up in a raid that is probably going to be tuned, to have them, or tuned to be very difficult for them? Why are you charging them that much? If you want to charge them all the resources, make it a day, a few days. Make it so they'll have it for the first raid. Because what is the harm in letting older players get new tech that they would then have to coin? You're making money if you make it more available to these players. Otherwise, you might get some coins out of it, but I think a lot more players are just going to be fed up and quit. Or maybe they give you your one free pass and they're going to be fed up and quit. The reason that they dropped the prices on a lot of the things in the first raid of the assault cycle, and they upped the stuff in the B targets, was because they tuned it poorly for what they expected the B targets to be able to be hit by. They're not tuning these well to the middle fleets. They're tuning it well to the top fleets. And that's a big problem when you're expecting or trying to give people tools to do it better with the middle fleets that are so exorbitantly priced because they can't do it with the middle fleets anyways. Give it to them cheap in terms of time, or give it to them cheap in terms of resources and a slightly longer time, but let them do it.
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to key in with this, is the fact that I think more people, because I want to sort of segue into what we were talking about in the previews or pre-show, as far as the strategy to build this. But I think this keys in from the fact that they wanted to involve people to build conquerors and defenders, there's different ways to go about building this, but the 42-day build time is, I think, driving people, people that might have decided, okay, I want to do bounty and win a courage or a twin blade or whatnot. Now they realize, okay, well, now I also need to build my fangtooth, my hunter, and the flagship, the flagships that go along with them. I'm not going to have time to build either these defender or conqueror hulls. And with 42 days, these people can't also equip. They don't have the ability to equip the limited turrets that they want in the last raid, unless they have the appropriate turrets to put them on. And they're not terribly useful unless you have them on level 9 turrets. And to have them on level 9 turrets, you probably want to balance your base by putting, upgrading your 1 or 2 year warehouses to level your bubble pad. But I'll take this slide down. But more of what I was thinking was we would talk about the strategy to hopefully fit the shipyard in to your base, so you can feel like you can participate in something like bounty at this point in time, and feel like it's, I'm not just going to win these blueprints and they're going to sit there, or I have to coin the hell out of them in order to accomplish what I need to do as far as what I need to do for the next raid.
When they come out with OP10, I was expecting the OP to have a 40-day build time. That's what I was expecting. I wouldn't have been upset if it was. I thought, well, OP10, they said it was going to be expensive. Yeah, I'll take that. But then I would have thought that once the OP is finished, then everything else would be a little bit less of a time to upgrade. But when OP come out and it was only a few days, I was thinking, oh, that's pretty good. They're going the right way. And bingo, straight away, they squirt some sour on the apple. And a 42-day build on the shipyard is totally unreasonable. What are you gonna do for 42 days? You can't do anything else except the shipyard. There's no turrets.
You can equip stuff.
I think I have an answer. I think I actually have an answer. So what my strat is, so I used a bunch of build tokens. I sped up my OP. I sped up my shipyard. My last warehouse is almost done. I got the weapons lab, obviously. I'm going to put the advanced lab in tonight so it's done tomorrow. Then do my dock. So that's all the key buildings done, right? Then start the conquest yard, because I'll still be able to, use base parts and all that to equip my turrets. And yeah, it's not going to be done. Like, my turrets aren't all going to be ready. That's one of the annoying things, because they made these turret builds so long. But by the time I'm done, that's probably going to be the rule where you can use base parts on OP10 stuff, because they gave a few months for that.
Well, I like the way you're thinking about that. I like the way you're going about it. Everything's good. But to me, what they did doesn't make any sense. Here's something you guys have been asking for. It's going to take you 42 days to build it. I shouldn't say nobody. Most people don't have the coins that it takes, not the coins, the tokens it takes to build it. Now, if they made it something short, let's call it 15 days, 20 days, 25 days, we slow build it, we start using it, and most people, if they coin a little, hush, boy. If they coin a little bit, they'll start coining stuff on twice the boats that they were. So where do they think they're making money? On making us wait and pissing us off?
I mean,
and they've reached a number. They've reached a number where I don't think anybody's going to say, "Yeah, I'm going to coin that."
$175?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
Well,
that's what I thought. I mean, I would have loved to go back and and hit a few bases and have the Conqueror yard. You can build your Conquerors. I've got a few that I want to maybe spruce up a little bit so I can use them like the prides and stuff. But I'm not going to hit any bases this bounty, and I won't be able to hit any bases the next bounty unless there is a huge amount of building tokens coming up. And I don't mean in the special priced orders. I mean in a TLC or whatnot. So they're losing out on 2 bounties just because the shipyard isn't ready. And I'm not going to build a Conqueror in my other shipyard because I'm way too busy building those Fangtooth and the Hunters for the next raid cycle and whatever else comes up that you need.
Which brings a question that I honestly don't know the answer to. You can build a Conqueror in the Conqueror shipyard. Can you still build a Conqueror in the other shipyard, or will it be shifted over to PvE only?
No, you can build.
You can still build it.
You can build Conquerors in both of them. The Conqueror shipyard there's going to be an extra titanium charge that's added onto it, but you can build in both of them.
But you can't build PvE in the Conqueror yard.
Well, and here's what I
correct. You can only build Conquerors and Defenders.
But
according to
why don't they give us an opportunity to do whichever we want? If you want to use the second yard, you pay the titanium fee, and boom, there you go.
Well, that's what I was kind of trying to say. That's what I find interesting. People and Kicks themselves keep saying, "Oh, well, we gave you what you wanted. We gave you what you want." No, you didn't. We wanted a fully functional second shipyard. We didn't want one that could only build the shit that you wanted us to build. So telling us that you gave us what you wanted is very misleading off the top. If it was a fully functional one, I could see the 42 days. But with it only being able to do half of what we really wanted it to, that time should be cut in half.
Well, I think there's a greater point that I think Ram is also trying to make is the fact that they're trying to encourage people that aren't part of the PvP community to participate in the PvP community. And this, a lot of those people are spending most of their time defending their bases, not building stuff to go out and hit other bases. And so if you take 42 days away from them building turrets and towers and all the rest of it, they're going to get that kind of thing done. A lot of them are going to get that kind of thing done first in order to defend their base against the Twin Blade and whatever comes out, and not be stuck with 42 days not knowing if some brand new thing is going to come out that we need to get put up on it. We need to get put on our base. Because, in 42 days, we're going to see, 12 TLCs, 2 raids, 2 bounties, maybe, depending on when you start it. It's the potential for a lot of tech that you feel like you should be putting in your base, but you can't. It's sort of like the reason why I try to limit my ship builds to 24 hours at a time.
Exactly.
And they're not giving us this option. They're going for the 42-day option, which is basically like building an entire fleet and deciding beforehand that you're going to put this time resource for the entire fleet that you're going to build at this point, not knowing what's going to happen during that time. Because I'm pretty sure 42 days is much longer than Magic Johnson's late night show. Probably 5 times as long.
In addition to your excellent point, another point that I want to add is if they allowed us to use that yard for both PvE and PvP, we wouldn't be running into the logjam we're running into with not having fleets for the raids.
Mm-hmm.
You could turn around and get your hunters and your subs finished.
And this is a nice segue because they are kind of expecting us to do just that. There was a post from the official Battle Pirates Facebook page earlier today. They're going to be trying something new for this upcoming raid.
Right.
And they're going to have an S target that is designed for the Fangtooth hull, and they're going to have an S target that is designed for the Hunter hull.
So now we've changed again. We've went from a skill hull and an auto hull to 2 skill hulls of different types.
Well, that went out the window with the ironclads because the auto pathing was so bad you couldn't really auto them realistically.
Auto damage pathing.
Yeah, the pathing was awful. Anyway, each target is 4 million. Fangtooth and the Hunter, same price, 4 million. If you complete a set, you get an extra 2 million. So that is a clear incentive to get us to build both because, that's 2 million more on top of your 8 million. It's a 25% point bonus. And I don't know who the heck is going to be able to do that in Raid 1. But the option is there. And one of the discussions about it is, oh, well, it depends how many points. 4 million in S target doesn't sound too bad. And it kind of doesn't. It's a little less than, I think, 4.5 million for the first raid of the 100 was 4.5 million, I think it was, in the first raid of that cycle. But between the limited flagships and the charged armors and all those other things they expect you to grab now, the 2 million loss for 2 targets is very significant over time.
That is not me touching the dice.
It really sounded like it.
I don't want to know what you're
me.
touching.
That's me.
Not me either.
Yeah.
I want to know who's using the dice.
Yeah.
Because it ain't rum.
Rum's jonesing now. Where's my dice?
Dude, I was looking for them. Trust me. Somebody did it. Like, oh my God, where are they? They're on here this somewhere.
I'm sorry, Daniel. Go ahead. You were about to say something?
What we were talking about just now.
The new S targets.
Okay, yeah. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to have 2 sets of players in alliances, and we're going to have the players that build the skill hall, and one set of player has the blitz hall, and then you basically prep for each other.
Nope, you can't because it's tower activated.
It's in a tower.
Oh my God.
Yeah, talk about killing mercs.
Wait.
Okay, I thought they've tried that before in the tower.
Wait, are we sure you can't co-op the targets? Because we've been able to co-op stuff through the turrets before.
No,
that is true.
Rampage says these are not co-op targets, which doesn't mean that you.
Okay.
So he made 3 posts. He made 3 posts on the reaction to it. So the last one is you can't co-op these.
Well, I have asked a question, and the question was, why can't we have the TLCs when we want them in our little TLC section in the game? And the answer was, once it's closed, once the TLC is closed, you can't have it, you can't replay it if it's in the always open section. Right? Now, if they put something on the tower and you've finished it, then you shouldn't be able to do a second target because it's closed off. So how can we have the next raid on the tower and keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's not closed off?
They did raids in the tower before.
They did?
Yeah. The last Scourge raid, actually, ironically enough, was done via campaigns through towers.
It was because
remember the
our Lord and Savior GD Raken.
Yeah, King of the R16.
And only 2 fleets. Look, easy.
Okay, I have a question. Based on them doing what they're doing with the towers, and for all intents and purposes eliminating mercs, doesn't it seem like Kix has taken a stance to eliminate any fun or any thoughts of doing the game your way?
Any sense of cooperation, I feel, yes.
Hey, that cooperation, I mean, that prepping is fun for some people. Merkin.
Yeah, it's interesting because in this massive multiplayer online game, and a lot of people play because their friends play, but the thing is, like, there are shared experiences, and not always, but usually it comes through synchronous multiplayer play, whether it's me and 3 of my buddies are going to go and play GoldenEye on the N64 together. We're in the same room and we have fun. By the way, that still holds up like 20 years later. That game is so good. But, or you're playing online.
What game?
GoldenEye 007.
Okay.
So another question. Most of the mercs left the money in the game, so that money is spent for KixEye anyway. Why stop it?
Yeah, it's interesting because I guess KixEye feels that mercs are undercutting them because this Joe Schmo with his, Apollos running through targets is going to incur, let's say, 5 coins of damage. Or he's going to try and hit the S target and fail in coin repeatedly because apparently they think Joe Schmo is an idiot.
Yeah. Go hit something you can't hit?
Yeah, go hit something you're going to do poorly against, coin the fleet twice, and that's how we're going to make our money instead of having someone else do it and you get the completion bonus for it.
But Joe Schmo is an idiot if he's going to pay somebody. Unless he doesn't enjoy playing the game, Joe Schmo is an idiot for paying that person to do it if he could do it for cheaper.
Well, yeah, but that's the crux of how is he going to do it for cheaper when Kix levels so much against him? If he's using a tech that's a year old, if he doesn't know the targets, he's going to fail and he's going to fail hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll take more time.
Unless he watches the videos and gets all the information, in which case he can make an informed decision. And at that point, I think he'll, be able to do the cost benefit because then he actually understands what's going on. But it's preying at the people that just go in and die and coin out of frustration and go again. Sort of like Rakin did in that video a year ago when he got his interceptors killed, coined it, came back and did it again because he felt like he had to. Not to say that Rakin is Joe Schmo the idiot. No.
Isn't there a section in the TOS where it's against the TOS to use their game to make profit for yourself anyway?
You don't make real life money profit though. You make coins.
Aren't people who breaking the TOS?
No, they do. They would do it for coins, and they do it all through legal methods. Like you can give other people coins because that's the way KixEye earns money. Why would you turn off my ability to give you money if $20 for 200 coins is $20 for 200?
You're still using their game to generate funds for yourself because when somebody else gives you funds, you don't have to spend your own money at that point.
Yeah, but they're spending the money for you.
Their game.
They're only buying pixels. I mean, because KixEye has done it themselves. You're buying time. You're not buying anything tangible.
Exactly.
KixEye sort of shot themselves in the foot if they were gonna take that argument, because you're not actually buying anything tangible because you can't do anything besides play the game and buy time in the game. If you can have 10,000 gold and you still can't go get a cup of coffee.
But it gets back to the original point of they're taking away the fun in the game.
Fun is subjective. They're taking away the cooperative element of the game.
I was going to say, I don't know what fun it is to pay somebody else to play your game for you, so I guess I don't understand.
But you're not paying them to play your game. You're trying to get yourself a benefit that you can't do yourself, which is what human life is about.
That right there, that's the crux, I think, of the whole thing. When you merc, you're paying someone else to help you get a leg up. You want to be able to achieve the next level because you can't get there with your $5 Apollo fleet.
Exactly.
Like, it seems so out of reach, and to do that would take so long and be so frustrating that you're willing to pay to do that. And you could pay Kix's prices, or you could pay a merc. A merc is typically far cheaper. And years ago on the forums, they mentioned, one of the forum mods mentioned that you could hire mercs to do that, and that it was an option that people did.
Yep.
People at that point were curious about it, but mercs provide a service, and that service is helping people get a leg up. Honestly, I think that KixEye should be thanking mercs because
I do too.
They give players the ability to reach the next level because Kix themselves can't program, well, probably refuse to program it well enough such that a player trying really hard with fleets they were given would be able to do well. They need significant investment in terms of refits to be able to do that. That refit investment, if instead of spending $20 on a refit to the Apollos, you spend and give a Merc some money, you're saving money, you're getting the leg up, and you're creating a future revenue stream that Kix could monopolize. And that's just not the case. BRB dinner, but I think this show's going to be on when I get back. So BRB.
Now, this might not be a popular point of view, but it's not just Kix to blame. It's we're to blame here just as well. Because I remember back when, just before alliances, we used to all help each other in the raid. And then the cooperative thing come in, and we could keep helping each other. And then all of a sudden, the bigger coiners and the higher levels complained and whined and cried that the little level could get all that tech with, you know, other people's helping them, and now they can smash my base, blah, 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 blah. And then Kix changed their ways, and now we can't help each other. And now we're crying that they can't help each other. I mean, we have to sort of take a path and stay on it. So you can't all just blame that on Kix. We're to blame in that just as well. I hate to say it, but we are.
No, we're not crying that we don't want to help them. We're crying because they're limiting our way to help people to progress in the game.
Yeah, but no, I'm just putting that forward, like as in.
Okay.
Like you are crying, but there will be people saying, you know, that should be cooperative and blah blah blah. Well, it was, and then now it's not because of partly of us.
Yeah, good thing turned bad by a few sour people.
Yeah.
Just like the 100 gold gift from Christmas.
Mm-hmm. The few vocal people in the forums? Is that what you're talking about?
Merking is always an interesting conversation because I think it's a very divisive topic in the game.
I understand if you get it done once, just so you can get the leg up, get the next raid haul, and then just do everything. Do everything from then on your own. That's everyone needs a little push now and then. That's fine, but to have it being done like every single raid, that gets tiring.
You know what? To a certain extent,
how does it differ from? I think what it is really competing with is the Blitz, right?
Yep.
Yeah, pay not to play button.
The Blitz. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see they're saying, hey, but maybe they should be more competitive. If you don't want people to merc, make the Blitz more affordable. That's the way business operates. Unless
but it's their own game.
Unless you're a communist.
They're in their own. It's their own little world. So it's their rules.
Yeah, it's like if you would come into my store, I shouldn't have to compete with somebody else who's in my store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You guys are taking it to a little bit to the wrong way. Everybody needs help from time to time.
Yeah, everyone does need help from time to time.
If somebody wants to donate their cause for the help, that's their choice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can still do that. You can still send a money order or whatnot. If you know the person, or you can still do all that. But it used to be.
You can't mark.
I remember.
No,
I remember it used to be a lot more fun when we did everything together. The alliance worked together.
And that still happens.
It was way more fun.
That still happens. Most of the time, people will help everybody in their alliance. That's just the way it is.
It's just it's gotten the cost of the game has gotten out of control. That's really what it boils down to. I mean, I'd love to go and hit a base. I haven't hit a base for a month because I don't have the fleet. My fleet's if I'd come and hit your base would laugh so hard that my fleet would sink. That's how bad they are. It's either you coin it or if you don't coin for everything, then you can't be in everything. You can only do one thing, and being able to do the FMs is number one priority. Then being able to do the TLCs is the next priority. Going through the raids is the priority after that, I guess. Or you could swap those two around, and then there's nothing for a long time, and then you can go to the PvP. which is the most fun.
Well,
this is what the game is.
Before you get there, I think you probably get the base parts.
Yeah, well, that's why I said there's nothing for a long time. Then you got to go to PvP, which is the most fun of the game. That's what the game is there for. That's what everybody had so much fun about. And slowly, it gets all pushed out with base parts and uranium and titanium and this and that and it's a shame. It's a real shame. It was a real good game, and now it's slowly drying out and dying. It's a shame.
Well, with every big change,
the PvP part, I mean, not the game itself.
Every change they make, they destroy a certain part of it. Occasionally, they'll come out and they'll do something right, and they deserve kudos for it. But just like GDA said last night, he says we're trying not to release items that aren't working. That's why they push some part of this bounty or whatever back. So I mean, they've got some right ideas, but they just keep screwing good parts of the game up.
Well, bounty is not working. Is it working? Should they have released it or not? No, it's not working.
No, they backed it out. There was another part they were going to release. It wasn't working, so they took it out. That's what they said last night.
That was the web wall, the sand trap.
Yeah. The Scourge web.
But I thought there was some people were still not getting their points for hitting bases. So
it's happened a few times. It's happened to me once. Big deal. Go hit another base.
Alrighty. I think we pretty much talked everything out that's good for the live broadcast. I'm trying to think of anything else. We did bring up your your bus sloth build. Did you want to share that, or we can?
We could do it if you want. We could do.
Do you want me to? Can you screen share? Screen share hitting one.
Yes.
If people haven't seen it, it's quite amusing. Can you screen share it, or do I need to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Give me a minute. Let me load the game because it.
Okay.
Hefe, did you hear the dice?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Well, you said it wasn't you last time, so.
No,
it was me because I
found the bones.
Okay.
I bought a new pair. I bought some new dice, and just sitting there in front of me, so I just started doing it.
And now you understand the addiction, Daniel.
Yeah.
How many sides do your dice have? I know Rom has 6-sided dice.
Yeah,
okay, yours is 6-sided as well. Okay.
Dude, mine are off the craps tables at MGM Grand.
Okay.
Yeah, baby. Daniel.
All right, there you go.
Okay. I will.
So you're at 493. Okay, we can jump.
I'm not even in bounty, so.
Oh, okay.
He's not. Yeah, he's not in bounty.
I'm not even in bounty. I just like hitting the target because it's fun.
Yeah, because it's like boom.
Watch it. George was happy to have him last night.
Speaking
of, where's that freak at?
He's traveling from one place to another. I really assumed once we started talking about the TOS and Mercs that somehow magically he would just show up on the show because he would have just loved to,
I was expecting him to, actually. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. He's driving from one point to another. He said he would be. We're close to that time, but he would be 2 or 3 hours late to the show, so he wouldn't make it. So
yeah, he might.
Long conversations about marking.
All right, here's the target.
Oh yeah, you don't go full screen, so yeah.
Don't sound so happy.
Well, here you go.
Okay.
There you go, full screen.
Okay, there you go. Just so people can see in more detail.
I have to do is inch into this little turret right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have a range of 112.5, and this has got a range of 105.
And just wait.
Here we go. Base is naked.
And then you go over and you hit this little turret right here. And then you run the gauntlet.
How do you keep from taking any damage from that little turret right there?
It's just inching in. Just
Well, he's got a 7 range difference, don't you?
No, I don't. It's just the hedgehog mortar. Just one.
No, but you have that bonus on the bus.
The bonus range.
That's only for what is it called? Retargeting range, or no, not retargeting range.
Mortar.
Mortar. Yeah, and the hedgehog is a mortar.
There you go. Just move them right here. Just move that back there, and that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, if you have the bus, the targets, it's pretty much a joke.
Oh, now they think we're laughing at them. They're going to change it up.
Yeah, they probably will.
It's all your fault, Hefe. You called them a joke.
Well, I said the target's a joke. I mean, it's instant repair on the map if you have the bus. Everybody else, the Muglets, your instant repair in your base, and they probably shouldn't have.
Hey, Daniel, can you reach that warehouse from outside the channel? That one right there?
I don't know.
I'd like to see you try that.
I usually just go down the channel.
I know, but I mean, I'd like to see you try it after you kill everything else. Instead of going up the channel, just go over there and see if you can reach it. I don't know if you can or not.
Okay.
That'd save you time. That's entirely too much damage. You need some armor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this is from the Thorns, right? The minute and 24 seconds.
Yeah, the Thorns. Most of it.
That's from his
but the
own
targets
splash.
are gone. Oh.
Well, isn't there one? Or is that an 85?
Here.
That's an 85.
Yeah.
Go. And yes, the spaghetti was good. Sorry, Ford.
It's all good. What kind of sauce was it? Was this a marinara or a bolognese or something between?
It's something between that I make up. It's got about 12 to 13 spices in it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Ford wants you to hit his base.
Ford wants who to hit his base?
I guess
Oh.
All of them disappeared except for that one that I wanted to hit. There you go.
It's got some herbs from the garden, some peppers.
Okay. And just ground beef?
Oh, no.
No? What's the...
Nothing.
What's the
Just sauce. No meat.
Okay, so it's more of a marinara.
Yeah, it's more of a marinara.
Okay.
What kind of herbs he got out of the garden? Eh?
None that anybody wants to put in a pipe. Got a little thyme. Got a little rosemary. Good Lord Almighty! Have some splash. You may not get a chance to hit that warehouse.
It won't die. It won't die.
Yeah.
You target that hull that's there, that'll splash it out, won't it?
Yeah, Ford says he...
Yeah, but you don't want to.
Ford says he has enough splash dispersion to ward this off, so...
I see.
You don't
You won't touch a warehouse because he'll kill it whenever he hits these other 4 targets. Watch, it'll just disappear here in a second. Can you say bye-bye?
No, it's still there.
I know.
Yeah,
I was talking about the boat.
Yeah,
but you
it
don't
would
want
have
to
been
get
nice
close
if
to
you could
those.
figured out a way to keep that retribution and use that retribution to splash out the rest of it.
I don't think he's going to have to worry about it. I think he's going to get it with this range right here.
Yeah.
And that'll save him a lot of driving. Uh-oh, damage. Never mind. Oh, looky there.
No, I don't think.
You're talking just a hair.
Oh, let me try again.
I don't think you'll get it. I think they took that into consideration. I mean,
Oh
you're
my
so
god,
close.
I'm right there. Oh shit.
Oh, there it is. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, that's gonna be dead.
Ah, well.
Bye-bye. Oh, that sucks. I thought you'd had enough life on it to get there.
Yeah.
At least you know it
If
works.
you put a building damage crew on there,
It's not a big deal. You just go down the channel.
I know.
Time, baby. Time's money.
They're just trying to,
You can even stay still and nothing happens to this thing.
Yeah. It's,
You're also getting a little more range out of having 4 slots in there instead of 3, aren't you?
Yeah.
Remote targeting range. Yeah.
Remote targeting range, yeah.
and so, basically, Daniel, you just have pretty much all the splash stand. How many splash specials do you have? 3?
I have the Reaver. I don't remember the builds. I'll put it up.
Probably
whenever.
Incinerate 2.
Okay, I have that Reaver thrower one.
Yeah. What's that?
Daniel, who were we talking to the other day that had 409% splash on their slot?
I think it was Hulch.
I have 411 on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you upgraded another bit on the innervated.
Yeah, he didn't.
Mine
Didn't put
have,
an engine.
Yeah.
If you don't put an engine, you could get it up there.
All right, I'll take you off share.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're gonna hit fourth base.
What's the splash on yours, Daniel?
Only 490 something.
I thought yours was 384%, Daniel.
Yeah, 384%, somewhere around there, 300 something.
I wish
I have
had
it
the most-
upgraded as well. I have the innovative explosive upgraded.
I'm upgrading mine as we speak.
Okay. Well, can we do any
Okay.
more good? Can we do any more bad this evening, or should we go offline?
I think that you ought to hit Hulch.
I don't think Hulch is
Ford.
in this world.
Or Ford, I mean.
Have fun trying to hit me.
I got a quick one. With the conquest yard.
Yeah.
Conquest?
Wasn't there? Someone said something about a very cheap coining cost.
Oh, I think you were talking about. I think what you're referring to is there was a cheaper way to coin the outpost, the shipyard, and the dock. That's going to last for another 5 days, but it did not include the new.
It did not. Okay.
No,
So
it
I
did not
was. Yeah. No. I heard somewhere someone saying that there was something really cheap to coin the shipyard, but that must have been the other one.
Damn,
To
Brian,
level
did you
5.
use a blender?
I might not have left. I might have just like put an IV on my elbow and just, done that. But yeah, I think
Brian, we were showing off the bus earlier. Did you see any of that?
no.
Hey, did you see that yesterday? Wait, were you there yesterday when he was doing that?
The rum bus.
Not yours.
the picture?
No.
I saw the picture, but I didn't see actual
how
hitting.
effective the bus is in these PvE targets that are going on right now.
I do not believe I saw that, but I hear they do very well.
Uh-huh.
You want to do it one more time, Daniel? It's fun to watch. Okay.
Well, in the after show, in the after show, we'll do it again.
Okay, yeah, everybody else has seen it.
I mean,
But-
honestly,
but-
I could
but
just
isn't
go
it
back
fun?
and watch the VOD.
People in YouTube chat, isn't that fun to watch? even though it's sort of disappointing to realize that like that's the only fleet that can really do it that way. But yeah,
and that oh, what is it? The ship itself took like however many days to build.
Yeah,
but it's
it's a minute and a half damage on the map, and it's actually quite quick.
Yeah, it's a lot faster than how last raid it was. What is it called? The gluttonies. We're doing it a lot slower back then. Yeah.
So, well, if we're going to save that for the after show, I guess we can get offline unless you got anything else, Brian, to discuss as far as. I think the rest of the group is worn out, and we could get.
Let's see, specialist time. I got that. Glaring at the bounty, we did that. Twin blade. The real quick and dirty math. If you put all of the new missile on, ST4, SB4, carbon fiber casing, all that. The numbers I got to were you get to about 3.3 million building DPS, which conveniently is the health of a level 9 turret, except that has 50% pen resist, but whatever. I'm not sure why you can only get 2, but I sort of understand why you can only get 2. I'm just concerned when you can get 5. CMO4. Let's see. New S target ideas. You fucks, you stupid fucks. Got those in.
Did you watch the show on Wednesday as far as whether to use the new special or use the new siege targeting? Because they don't stack. Did you see that? Because you get an additional.
Oh, the After-Razor versus ST4?
Yeah.
I just picked ST4. I mean, projectile speed is nice.
Yeah. That's
on
my
how
thought.
things work in practice. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if it. I don't know if the new special will do well. But it looks fine.
I mean
no, it's Conqueror only, isn't it?
Yeah. The projectile.
Oh, and I've never.
The projectile.
No, I thought of what if I put this on my Gut Spill Skyfire? No.
Yeah, the projectile speed helps a little bit against countermeasure the splash of them, but.
Well, let's hook it up on the generalist with the Lance or whatever it was called.
Yeah,
no, but
heavy Lance.
Conqueror only. What?
I just want to throw it on my gluttonies. Just screw it.
And anyway, just to wrap up the thing I started to go on and then probably left. The new S target idea, I like the idea. It's a really good idea. It prevents the thing that happened at the end of the last raid. Everybody got upset, and those fortunate enough to have a fleet that was a fleet of each would do well. I don't much like the idea of there being a bonus for both of them, even though that would give the benefit to people that would build both fleets. I don't think building both fleets should ever be a necessity ever, because we barely have the time to build one. And then they release the Escalation Special and Weapon, and there we go again. I think that if they made it 5 million each, or if they made it the skill hull gets 5.5 and the auto hull gets 4.5 for approximately similar damage, or if you took significantly more damage in the auto hull target than in the skill hull target, but you kept the points the same, I think that would do. I think that the people that build the skill hull should be rewarded for their decision and their driving ability. And in the model as it currently stands, that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case. We're not rewarded any more than we, I guess, already would be. But that's not necessarily an advantage over building the auto hull and driving it like you would an auto hull. I think that the skill and driving should be rewarded in a more tangible fashion. Otherwise, everyone would default to the blitz hull. And as fun as the hunters look, I don't think that's something that the players or Kixeye want. So give the edge to the skill guys, but let the blitz guys have a puncher's chance. And that's it.
I think the idea is, make it appropriate where the subs can do both targets, because that's what the skill holes should do. And if you want to continue to reward the hunter guys, make one of the targets specifically for them, not specifically to where the subs couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of because last month you could do the 106 with Phoenixes, but you could, and unless you were very good at driving and used a pretty specific route and got a little lucky, it was quite difficult. The normal mechanics of the target that you understood broke it down on the first rush of drones because you didn't have room to maneuver, and now you're getting shot by 12 drones and you can't kill them quickly enough because your weapons literally were not designed to do that.
Well, unless you use the DOS crew, then you can kill everything.
That kind of doesn't count.
But it was fun.
I'm sure it was.
I burned through 4 of the 5 that I had just because I hated kicks.
Jesus.
Well,
right.
if you got the primary hull or the skill hull, then that skill hull should be able to do all the targets from the lowest to the highest set, whatever the number or whatever the letter is.
I agree 100%.
And then if you bring the second hull out, the auto hull, well, it may be able to do the top tier, the very most difficult one, but with a lot of damage, and maybe not, because it's designed to do the one below it. And that's the way it should be. There shouldn't be a if or but, and the poor this and the poor that. No, the skill hull does everything, and the second rate hull, well, it doesn't do everything. It can, but it costs.
Yeah, but
and that's the way it should be.
No, I kind of disagree with that because they both have to do the top target, because people, it's all based on their play style, and people don't want to be bothered with just having to inch into targets or having to kite or do they don't want to do that. They just want to get through the target and go do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, but that sounds like you're saying they don't want to play the game.
Then it's going to cost. It's going to cost you something. That's how it always used to be.
But it shouldn't be like it shouldn't. The skill hull shouldn't be free, and it costs 10 coins to repair the non-skill.
No, there should be. But you shouldn't be able to do the auto hull. You shouldn't be able to do the top target better than what the skill hull does. There's no way.
Oh no, I'm not saying it shouldn't be better. It should be better, and I don't think we should call it the skill hull and the auto hull anymore.
Because I prefer to call them the Adderall and beer hulls.
It's just totally different play styles. You're in one, you're trying to kite, trying to stay within range, and then the other one you're trying to avoid damage by either going fast or just killing it as faster than normal. It's just your play style. I think it's all based on your play style.
Yeah, and I mean the auto hulls certainly are fun. Mm-hmm. It's nice to not have to worry about a 2-unit range gap.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. But there's still a certain element of driving that you can do with the blitzer hull that you could instead especially of engaging. Oh, sorry.
No, especially the Skyfires. You're right. I've done some weird pathing to get the mad 4th chain that makes the pancake overload so that my next run up I can kill it.
Yep.
But I didn't even see that or consider it when I first did the target with Skyfires. I wasn't thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
But I'd like to flip the paradigm and make it to have one hull and then skill and auto targets, because they're having a hard time tuning them for both, as we saw with the 106.
Yeah. Well, but this is
have one target that okay, you can outrange them and you have more damage in one hull in one target, and so that would be the skill target. And then you have another one that does less damage at distance but it's going to always outrange you, as opposed to forcing us and them to account for 2 different hulls, 3 different hulls in a single target.
Yeah, but you gotta. I think you have to account for the fact that a lot of people do not like subs.
I think. Well, I mean,
This isn't a sub.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Hey, we don't need to talk about Liam.
yeah. No, this is. I mean, no, he's got a point. This isn't a sub. It never surfaces. This is. You're basically driving an assault raid.
Yeah.
The only thing is you can't get it out of your dock unless it's fully repaired. That's the only difference to a normal hull.
And I am still mad about that.
Yeah.
No, like, that shouldn't exist. The conditions by which they made this rule in the first place don't exist anymore. There's no surfacing to avoid. There's no, like, I think they mentioned something about FEF balance, but they don't care about PvP or FEF balance. They really don't. Otherwise, they'd prevent Conqueror holes from hitting things without Conquerors in them, so you couldn't be sniped at towers or whatever. And you can't do these targets damage free. Like, your stealth is irrelevant because they spot you because the thermal outranges you. And you'll almost always get hit because of the splash on those targets and the zooming and quick maneuverability of the other targets. Could these targets be done damage free, completely free? Probably. Does that mean that you should have to fully repair them before sending them out? No. You could do the cannoneer damage targets damage free with cannoneers. I did it. I did the last target of the last raid. No damage cannoneers. But my cannoneers can go out zombied or less than full health. And the sub-specific requirements for that are gone now. They really need to reevaluate that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was mostly put into, it's. But what change would you have them make?
Remove the rule.
But
Subs can be launched now.
But they can still come out and snipe fleets that even if they lose, they're,
Just do it for the ride. Just remove that rule for the ride.
Kix doesn't care about that.
People will snipe in the raid.
Or the TLCs that are going to come up?
Yeah.
Kix doesn't care about that. In fact, I feel like it would be wanting that to happen because the fleet now that does that, the Gluttony, is 8 coins to repair if they fail, which is less than any other sub that's existed ever, versus your raid fleet or TLC fleet in this case that is more than 8 coins. They want you to lose because that's more money to them.
I mean, if you take your defenders out, go hit a cargo. You can't. So they can put something in that when you're in a raid and you want to snipe someone else's fleet, it'll say, no, you can't do that. This is a raid. And you can only hit your raid targets with it when it's not fully fitted, fully repaired.
Well, like I brought up, the other issue is going to be the TLCs that are going to come up. It's, pretty soon we're going to have TLCs that require the fang tooth and whatnot. And the TLCs have a double pop-up, which is even more difficult to get out of. Yes, and it is a pirate game.
Yeah.
But pirates didn't have to deal with double pop-ups, did they?
But pirates were able to intercept fleets while they're moving.
True.
Yeah.
And you
could also thought about putting that in the game, but I haven't heard that in a while.
You could also broadside with your mega ships as well.
Mm.
Yeah. That would be fun to have be able to run into a ship.
Oh yeah.
The icebreakers would do fantastic for that. They are so fast.
Yeah. Well, anything with the combat speed, but as long as they could, it'd have to be a different damage type. Smash damage type as opposed to, would it be? It's not ballistic. I mean, ballistic would probably be the closest, right?
Smash and grab.
Those icebreakers, really, there should be a bit of the raid where there's all the little ice fields all over the map, and you should use an icebreaker to break through the ice and make a little line where other ships have to drive through. To make it that's what the icebreakers do. But I didn't see him do anything like that in the raid, did they? That'd be awesome. And then you have to drive through that little ice.
Well, they sort of did, because you remember those mines that came out and then created the ice fields? They were much more immune to the ice fields than the monoliths.
Eventually died, though.
Well, I'm saying as far as those, remember the mines that are, the icebreakers, they were like, screw them.
Using them as the name says, icebreaker, have a little part of the screen where you put a, if you don't have an icebreaker, you can't get through, or something like that. I don't know.
But
you're right.
They made it so that you could you need like the whole entire fleet. It's the aura stacks with each one that you have in the fleet. So that's another thing about the game right now, is that they're bringing up these auto hulls that you actually need to have like the whole entire fleet, flagship and all, to be able to do a target effective.
Well, yeah, because they want you to build more ships. If you could build 2 hunters and get away with it, people would just do that. And I know it would change the token economy, but let's just say if they have the tokens out where they have now, like, I think I have enough tokens, hunter tokens, where I could just build a fully completed hunter just right now. And
go ahead, Brian, because I have a question on this issue, because I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, and it'd be basically free, and then I'd be able to compete particularly well with my freely given auto hulls, and that doesn't make them money.
My thought is, with the progression we've seen historically, do we build blank, semi-blank hunters until we get the escalation weapon?
Yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to build. I've got 3 fang tooths that are going to be basically ready, and the flagship and the last one are going to have like 2 torps and a free special slot. And
next week.
I'm going to wait. Not next week. In like a month and a week. And then every hunter I have is going to have the one houndstooth if we want to go out ranking. And then next month, just put all the new stuff on.
Because they do, right?
Like, I wouldn't even waste coin in ranking them at this point. Just wait till the TLCs, because they have VXP tokens on the TLCs.
Oh no, I have. I mean, I can like half rank 4 of them now. It's fine. But just wait, because they tuned for that escalation weapon, even though they said they weren't going to.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
all right, are we done yet?
Yeah, I think we're done yet. We're done.
All righty.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks everybody for joining the show, and we'll see y'all on Wednesday. Have fun with Bounty, and remember, you're gonna have the big jackpots, which I don't necessarily know that they're fair, but they're gonna increase in regularity in the next day or two. So, I mean, hopefully they'll fix the rest of this crap. So, have fun, everybody.
Not everybody.
Night.
Not
Show up on Wednesday. Listen to Rum roll his dice.